See, we were lucky, we're fortunate in the Ministry of Interior that we oversee regimented agencies, I mean paramilitary, and discipline is at the core of any agency. And for me, they know it's a no-no for me. They have focused prison investigation. They did an investigation. They brought me a report, and I read the report. I threw it away, and I said I was not. So we had to set up a new committee because I mean, nobody will come to me that there is no problem when I know there's a problem. So what I want to know is what the problem is, and I think I've just been told that the new report is ready. It will be handed over to me today, and you can be rest assured that no report will be swept under the carpet. And of course, we are going to further integrate those recommendations, findings, and go up to the report, to the committee headed by the permanent secretary. Because for me, I see this issue that has happened in Lagos, that we saw on social media, as an opportunity for us to clean the system. That's just the truth. We can't keep sorting problems in isolation. We must be able to be holistic and solve this problem. So beyond the investigation of the Lagos thing, I'm sure I've told the permanent secretary that the committee must go deeper into so many other areas of our correctional service and make sure that we have a correctional service we as Nigerians can be proud of. When we took on the responsibility as the Minister of Interior and Chairman of the Civil Defense, Correctional, Fire and Immigration Services Board, I knew that the task ahead was immense, but I also knew that with determination, collaboration, and a clear vision, we could achieve what many thought was impossible. In just 1 year, under the Renewed Hope agenda of Mr. President, we can say this particular administration has been able to make significant strides. From day one, our focus was about breaking bottlenecks, inefficiencies, and of course, to make our systems to work better for the people of Nigeria. One of the first major achievements by this government was completing long overdue promotions within the promotion year. I have to say this, a feat that has not been accomplished in 38-year history of the board. When we came on board, it's important for me to speak to this. We met most of our officers in the paramilitary. We tell you a lot of them had been stagnated for 6 years, 8 years, some even 10 years. And we thought that, you cannot expect people to give you their best when you are not ready to also support them. Promotion is the right of any qualified officer, and as such, it should not be seen as a favor. So last year, precisely, Mr. President graciously approved, and we were able to promote about 32,000. About 32,000 officers at once in 1 day in the paramilitary agencies. And we made sure that by December last year, we finished 2023 promotion, which was the first time in the history of the board since 1986 that the board will finish its promotion exercise within the calendar year. And in 2024, we made a determination that we're not going to wait till December. And we're going to do better, because to us, the reward for a good job is more work. We decided that, okay, we have to up the ante. And I can authoritatively tell you that today we have finished the 2024 promotion exercises, and we have released the names, and this year alone, over 20,000 officers were promoted. So what that tells you is that in the last 9 months or 10 months, from December last year to September this year, this government has been able to promote minimum of 53,000 paramilitary officers. When we talk about 53,000 paramilitary officers. We are talking of 53,000 families. Yes. We are talking of 53,000 careers. A lot of these people have been stagnated for 8 years, 9 years, 10 years, 7 years. There are people that joined the service, they're about to retire, not because they failed the exams, but some of them are living as deputy controllers. Controllers, you know, they couldn't even get to the peak of their career, not because they weren't hardworking, but because there was a system that didn't encourage their career growth and development. And what this government under the president has been able to do is to be able to make sure that the career development rate of an officer will be proportional to his character, his capacity, and of course, his deeds, and not by virtue of where you come from or who is your godfather in the system. No, we believe that for an officer, for us to have a vibrant service, the son of a nobody should have the opportunity to become anybody, anything he wants to be, without necessarily knowing anybody. And that is why today, in the last 9 months, we've had 53,000 promotions in our agencies. We didn't just stop there with regards to the board. We spoke to the issue of gender, and to say our women, our ladies must also be given opportunity within the paramilitary setting. And that led the board to taking a decision, which in the present fire service, we have made sure, because I gave that express instruction, that there must be strict adherence. I use the word strict adherence to the decision of the board, which is to give our women 35% recruitment quota in all recruitment. We also championed the welfare of our officers, and I'm happy that Mr. President graciously approved a comprehensive group life insurance policy and, of course, pension benefits to our agencies. We have secured, and also we realized that the board, because the board is statutorily, by virtue of the Establishment Act, saddled with the responsibility of recruitment, training, discipline, and promotion. That's, in a nutshell, career management of all paramilitary officers within the purview of the board. That is the Federal Fire Service, the Nigerian Correctional Service, the NSCDC, and the Immigration Service. But we realized that the board was running on a skeleton note. There is no way you expect the board to give what the board doesn't have. That has led us we wrote to the president, and the president graciously approved for the board to be able to fill its vacancies, to build institutional memory, and to be able to play that role that the board was set up to play, which is career development management of these paramilitary agencies. Also, I have to say, in our fight against vandalism and protection of critical national assets, which is the core of NSCDC, the NSCDC has been very relentless in terms of making sure that this mandate is well implemented. In the last 1 year, the NSCDC has been able to arrest 2,254 vandals and oil bunkers, with 550 currently under prosecution and 122 convictions already secured. In addition, the NSCDC has disrupted organized crime networks by destroying over 150 illegal refineries and 64 illegal oil dumps. These are figures that are verifiable of what the NSCDC has been able to do in the last 1 year. And also, in alignment with the economic diversification strategy of Mr. President, we launched the Mine Marshal Initiative in collaboration with the Ministry of Solid Minerals. to combat illegal mining and boost national revenue. And you can see the impact, how successful it's been. And the Ministry of Solid Minerals even asked us for a phase 2, which we had deployed. We deployed the second phase and that. And today, you will see that vandalism, you will see that economic terrorism in terms of our solid mineral sites has gone down because we have been able to collaborate with Ministry of Solid Minerals to be able to put an end to that. Also, our personnel have received extensive training to maintain readiness in the face of evolving security challenges. In the last 1 year, we ensured that 21,383 senior officers and 2,551 junior officers, of course, were promoted as unspoken. That was in the last, that's for NSCDC. And of course, we have prioritized the issue of National Plan on Safe School, because we believe that not until a child in Damboa, not until a child in Sokoto, not until a child in Maradi is as safe as a child in Abuja with the same level of confidence to go to school, then we still have a lot of work to do. And in line with this, we have been able to launch the Safe School Plan, and we assure you that implementation work is on the table, and that will start pretty soon. Also, moving to the Nigerian Correctional Service, we have engaged in a series of infrastructural improvement. I don't want to say too much, but of course, Kuje Medium's Correctional Center is not far from here. I will encourage that you just you go to Kuje and see it as an example of what God has helped this administration to achieve in terms of infrastructural uplift, even to the cells, to infrastructure, to water, to electricity, to the environment. A lot of infrastructural work had been done. And also, part of what we have been able to do is in Niger State, we've completed the renovation of the administrative block and, of course, a new block at Suleja Prison Correctional Center. In Kano, we reconstructed the observation tower and, of course, also constructed and rebuilt a mini armory strengthening security measures. In Lagos State, we built a 96 capacity solid concrete cell block at Kirikiri maximum security facility, therefore increasing and improving accommodation for our inmates. We are also at the verge of completing the relationship between the Nigerian Football Federation and our inmates with regards to sport, because we also believe that for you to reduce recidivism, you must have things to occupy the minds of these people and also be able to give them a good time while they're in correctional center. The whole idea for us is that the name did not just change from prisons to correctional service for the sake of nomenclature. It changed because of the ideology. A prison is a place of incarceration. A correctional center is a place of transformation, a place of rehabilitation, and of course, a place where you can rebuild, a place of hope. And that is what we're trying to put on board in what we do. And also, when we came on board, we also looked at our the data that we had at that time in terms of the number of inmates. And we realized that over 4,000 of our inmates were still in correctional centers due to inability to pay petty fines. Some people, something as low as 5,000 naira, some 2,000 something naira, some 50,000. And a lot of them had been there for months, some for years, because of inability to pay this petty fine. And I want to believe there is nobody that will have an option of fine and will decide to stay in jail if he can afford the payment. So because of that, we had to reach out to some of our people in the private sector. We calculated the whole fine. It was over 500 million naira. to be able to release 4,000 people. That 4,000, which equates to 5% of the whole inmates that we had in the correctional center at the time. And we were able to raise 585 million naira through the private sector, and we were able to pay off the fines, and that led us to the release of over 4,000 inmates, decongesting our prisons, our correctional centers by 5%, and saving government of over 1 billion naira annually in terms of feeding. Of course, we understand the Nigerian Immigration Service is the gateway to the nation. Nigerian Immigration Service is responsible for border control, is responsible for a lot of things. And of course, we introduced advanced border management technologies, including geographical information system and surveillance tools and infrastructure to enhance national security. The technology allows for better monitoring and control of Nigeria's extensive borders, both the land border, the maritime border, and of course, the air border. As you are aware, we embarked on a comprehensive overhaul of the passport issuance process. When we came on board, we took a stock, or we looked at the passport application process in Nigeria vis-a-vis other countries. And we saw that there was more to be done. And it will interest you that at the time we resumed, the day I resumed office as Minister of Interior, the backlog we had was 204,332 passports that were in the backlog. And immediately we gave NIS a deadline of 2 weeks. Of course, they missed the deadline, but they were able to do it under 3 weeks. So the backlog of 204,332, they were able to, NIS cleared it in less than 3 weeks. And today, I can tell you emphatically that we have no backlog as it is, and we have said never again to passport. Passport is a right for any Nigerian that can afford it. Once you pay for it, it is your right to get passport. And we've made sure that both in Nigeria and in diaspora, we'll continue to do our best in terms of how to make it better. And also, we automated the whole system from A to Z. And today, we realize that there are only 2 issues that we have, especially because in order to be able to combat corruption, it's important that we reduce human contact as much as possible. And of course, people want to be in their homes. People want their passport in offices to be on their phones. People want to be able to, you don't want to cancel a day's job to go to Gwagwalada, or you want to go to Kenja, Ikoyo, because you want to do passport. You want to be able to renew your passport. And that led us to what we call the contactless biometric solution. And yesterday, I'm happy to inform you that the UAT, the final UAT was done yesterday. That user acceptance test was done yesterday. And by the grace of God, on October 1, we are bringing the civil society and some other government agencies together for us to be able to do a pre-launch briefing so that we show them how it works, and after that, we will go live. So what it means is that the era in diaspora, when somebody leaves British Columbia or leaves Vancouver to go to Ottawa, buys ticket, pays for a hotel, cancels a day's job, that era is gone. And because when you look at the pain Nigerians in diaspora go through, I'll give you an example. It's in London. One of the major complaints we still have in London and in the US, besides and in the US and Canada, these 3 countries, is about appointment dates. But for example, on the queue in London, we have over 16,000 applications. And physically, we can only capture maybe 200, 250 a day. So that scarcity is the reason why we have perceived corruption. But with the contactless coming on board, it means that you do not necessarily need to go to the embassy again. You don't need to book appointment to wait for 6 months, 3 months. That era of waiting is gone. Being in Nigeria should be based on suite experience. And that is what this renewed hope agenda has come to achieve in the Ministry of Interior. So by October 1, we're doing the pre-launch with all the seals, and it's going to be out there. And after that, Nigerians will be able to enjoy that suite experience. And also, we did promise home delivery. And in US, in UK, I know there's already home delivery. They're already getting their passports at home by courier. In Nigeria, as I speak, they've started getting their passports at home via courier once you apply in Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, and Kano. This is because it's a pilot. It has started already, which is an optional service, it's a value-added service. It's already available. So all the promises we made with regards to passport administration, God has helped us to be able to keep them to the latter. And also, when we came on board, we realized that NIS didn't have a data center of their own. NIS, at the time we came, NIS was leveraging on the data center of third parties, which we think it's not right. I mean, it's more of a security threat because we're talking about details and data of Nigerians. And we believe that the government should lead the private sector, not the private sector leading government. That has led us into building a robust data center. We started with a 1.4 petabyte, and with the new extension we have done, now we have about 2.7 petabyte, which is arguably one of the biggest data centers in Nigeria. We've been able to deliver that at the level of the NIS. So once you go to the NIS now, the data center is there, and that same data center is what we have termed as a robust centralized data center for the Ministry of Interior. So that may you be NIS, may you be Correctional Service, Fire Service, or NSCDC, data is centralized. So by the time we centralize the data, then data management, data sharing, and efficiency becomes easy. So we have been able to deliver the data center, and it is live there in NIS as we speak. And also, we have also been able to deliver the command and control center. When you go to NIS today, you see the command and control center, which is integrated with the advanced passenger information system, which we have also been able to deploy actively with the support of Ministry of Aviation and of course NCAA. The advanced passenger information system has been deployed, and as we speak, it's live. It's not about what we will do, it's about what we've been able to do. And also, when you get to NIS today, we looked at our visa application system, and we realized that visa application system was more subjective than objective. That has led us to develop a visa counter, which we have now in NIS, newly built, furnished, and of course equipped with latest technology. So when people apply for Nigerian visa all over the world, those applications come straight to Abuja real time, and those applications and those details go through all security database in the world, Interpol 247, watch list, and all the necessary database in the world. So we want to be, it is only when you're cleared that you can get a Nigerian visa. So this takes maximum, should take nothing more than 48 hours to complete the entire process. This is to ensure that whoever comes to Nigeria is somebody who is coming for real deal, not a terrorist. Is to be able to block our borders against terrorism, block our borders against irregular migration, and to be able to create a robust border management solution. Also, we have been able to, we are installing a total of 41 e-gates at our airports. And what that means basically is that once it's launched, it's ready. Lagos is ready, Abuja is ready. I think we're starting Kano now, installation of Kano. So what it means basically is that if you're a Nigerian and you're coming to Nigeria, we don't want the era of you seeing immigration officers and etc. Once you're a Nigerian, you carry a Nigerian passport. Go through the e-gate, put your passport, it reads your passport, it reads your biometrics. If it's you, it confirms you are not on the wanted list, there is no problem. Then you go, and we welcome you to Nigeria. So the era of using immigration officers with the issue of Gawiti you bring up, that era is gone. And as part of the e-gate, we have 8 nnamdikanu International Airport fully deployed, ready, good to go 100%. You can take a walk to nnamdikanu International Airport, you see the 8 e-gates, they are there. Lagos, we've been able to do 21 in Lagos. That's for the terminals, various terminals in Lagos, we have 21. And of course, Kano is going to have 4, Enugu will have 4, and Port Harcourt will have 4. Those are our international airport. This is to give Nigerian travelers sweet experience. It's to give Nigerian travelers that wonderful feeling of welcome home. Nigeria loves you, Nigeria welcomes you, and Nigeria appreciates you. And of course, part of what we have been all able to also do, which I'm sure you are very aware of in the media, is the issue of the PKI and the PKD. When we came on board, Nigerian passport was not on the global recognized platform, because what it means is that when you travel abroad, for those of you that travels regularly and you present a Nigerian passport, they tell you, just wait. You see that it takes a longer time to attend to a Nigerian passport holder than somebody who holds another passport. The reason is because the Nigerian passports was not uploaded, the details were not uploaded on a global ICAO directory called PKD. That's public key directory, So, but what we have been able to do is to bring that legitimacy. So every Nigerian passport has been uploaded to the ICAO registry. So if you travel to any part of the world, they can real time, anywhere, may it be in Mumbai, may it be in Changi, may it be in Australia, anywhere in the world, real time, in a matter of seconds, nanoseconds, they can verify the authenticity of the Nigerian passport and the carrier of the passport. This will enhance the integrity of our citizens, and our citizens will be treated with respect anywhere they get to in the world. And also, for the Federal Fire Service, we've been able to distribute firefighting equipment, and of course, we're in the process of trying to do more. And of course, we want to also open the industry, because we understand that there's no country in the world that single-handedly funds fire and rescue service. You have to collaborate with the private sector. And of course, the Federal Fire Service Act, I think is 1963, if I'm not 1963, is obsolete. So that we are in the final stage. I know the House of Rep has passed. It's in the Senate for concurrence. Once that is done, it will open the entire fire service, and it's going to be a new era. Vista of opportunity for the private sector, and of course, a good rescue platform for Nigerians at a time of need. And also, we went to the Federal Fire Academy, and what I saw there was more like a glorified primary school. And we said, this cannot be our National Fire Academy. And today, we spoke with the president, and the president graciously approved that to be done. And as I speak to you, work has started in the Federal Fire Academy, and we're going to create a fire academy which, by the grace of God, I think it's 40 weeks. Well, about 40 weeks in a year to deliver 26 weeks, yeah, to be able to deliver a fire academy of international standard, so that the fire academy will be like the center point for this sub-region, And of course, we want a scenario where the oil and gas companies, the private sector will come train their HSC personnel and in that particular place, rather than the traveling abroad and of course putting pressure on our economy when they travel abroad. So we are building a wonderful fire academy, and I want to assure you, work has started. We have mobilized to the contractor, and the work is ongoing as we speak. And I want to assure you, in the next couple of months, we will invite you to commission the first Tier 1 fire academy in the history of Nigeria. Also, not to bore you, because I'm skipping a lot of things here that would have taken us a whole day, but I'm trying to skip a lot of things, and because we will provide the whole details in writing to members of the press. But most importantly, I want to specifically thank the president for giving us the free hand to be able to work, and for always challenging us to up our game. Because anytime you go to the idea and you talk about a solution, one thing you've done That it gives you another responsibility, it puts you on your toes to be able to do more. So I want to thank him for this gracious opportunity. It's been honor of a lifetime serving Nigeria under his able leadership and mentorship. And of course, I want to thank the public servants I've been fortunate to work with, because there's a lot that we have actually been able to achieve in this era of renewed hope, but it would have been impossible without them. And of course, the media for communicating our plans, because one thing that is critical is stakeholders engagement, the buy-in of stakeholders. The media, you've done fantastically well in collaborating with us in order to make sure that our plans, our aspirations meet the yearnings of the people. And of course, you spoke about the IMET audit update. Yes, the IMET audit, we have not carried out a detailed IMET audit. We're about carrying it out. It's part of what we're trying to do. It's not been done because, and so I want to debunk the fact that maybe detailed IMET audit had been done. It has not been done. We will not do it while keeping quiet. We'll partner with the Nigerian Bar Association, we'll partner with Human Rights Commission, and we'll partner with strategic stakeholders. I'm sure the permanent secretary will be able to come up with a robust strategy towards doing it. Like what I said, it's not about just spending money it's not about just spending government money. It's about making sure that there is value for money. That is key, and it's better late than for you to rush and do nonsense. We want to solve the correctional issues once and for all. We want to be able to reform the correctional centers once and for all. We want a change of ideology. The correctional center is an institution. The correctional service, rather, is an institution. And we must protect the institution and make sure that we hand over an institution to generations coming behind us, an institution they will be proud of. It is not our fault that we inherited the institution we inherited. I'm talking about my generation. But it will be the fault of my generation if we hand over the same, at the same level, to generations coming after us. So be rest assured that we are not resting on that. And of course, you spoke about when the President commissioned the Command and Control Center. The Command and Control Center, I think with some of the media, we've been there together. You can see we're not talking about what we've not done. Very soon the President will do that, and be rest assured it's a Command and Control Center that's come to stay. It will work for Nigeria. As a matter of fact, we want to start the second Command and Control Center, because this one is for regular migration. We want to have another Command and Control Center for the irregular migration, because when you look at our land border, it's about 4,047 kilometers of land border. A lot of those entry points are not regular border posts. They are irregular. So we're looking at using technology to be able to, which we have done a lot at the moment, but we want to now be able to mainstream all those entry points into a command and control center with our officers, because you can't have boots on the ground over 4,047 kilometers, but you have to now use technology, sensitive cameras, motion detecting cameras, and etc. down the whole space of our border with a central level of control. And of course, if there is any suspicious movement or something, the next FOP can be mobilized real time to be able to attack that. So it's called smart policing. It's called smart security process. You cannot put people around. You have to be able to view. So we are on the verge of starting a new command and control center for the regular. But for the regular today, we have integrated the command and the regular one with the Interpol, with the MIDAS, everything has been concluded. So we now view all our border posts real time from the command and control center that we have today. But the next level is the irregular, which is what we are about starting. And we hope that in the next 1 year is our major target, so that by the time we do that, we know that every inch of our border can be viewed real time by us and is under constant surveillance. With that, Nigerians will be able to sleep, knowing fully well that every inch of the border is under serious monitoring. Now, so you spoke about the database of the private guards. Yes, yesterday they also did a presentation to me yesterday, and but there are still some corrections, because don't forget that me myself, I'm a technology person, so I have to, a solution must meet the minimum, our minimum standard, before we accept such, from the vendors. But you can be rest assured that hopefully, we hope in the next 1 or 2 months we should be good to go. And the essence of that, a lot of people don't know the reason why we're building that. I have to also say this. It's not just because we want to build this sort of solutions. It's also, we're doing this because from the way okay, let them go. Sorry, they just told me that from the villa, they've summoned Audi and for National Prayer for Independence Day. So I have to excuse them if you don't mind for them to go. All right. So the reason is this, and I'll tell you, this is something that affects almost all of us. It's important we understand this properly. Please, if I may, you see the private guard that we're talking about, the database we're talking about. Imagine today, you do not, and I repeat, you do not know who your guard is. I'll give you an example. In your various homes, people bring you guards. You take guards from some of these companies. At the end of the day, you don't even know. You leave your wife, you leave your children with these guards. You travel as a man. You don't know the guy's background. Check, maybe he's an ex-rapist or whatever. There is no standard. And to me, that is a vulnerability within our security architecture. So the private guard, the database we're building, which is what we're trying to do in line with the PGC Act, is to ensure that every guard is registered, their biometrics, everything is harmonized with NIMSI, and again, it's integrated to all security database. So there is a foundational check before these people can be employed or be transferred to anybody, to the homes. You cannot. Maybe somebody escaped, I'm sorry to say, from prison sometimes ago, and today you find the person being security in somebody's house. And there are some people, and that's why when you look at it, even in the newspapers, in the last 1 year, how many people have we seen guards, cooks, and etc. killed? That's the truth. We just saw one of the justices, that is, I think the daughter. So we have to be sure that the people you pay to secure you do not end up being the people that will compromise your security. So it's important. These are minor things that are very, very important. And also, if a guard, you should also have the opportunity to review the performance of a guard. For example, if a guard steals money and runs and goes to join another company, we will know, because as a private guard, you can only have one private guard number in your life, which is integrated with your NIN. And if you are not on that platform, you cannot be recruited to work as a guard. So if you steal money somewhere, the system recognizes you, we will track you, we will integrate with immigration, we integrate with the police, we integrate. So we'll be able to sanitize the system so that the people you hand over your security to do not become your nemesis. So these are the things we're trying to do. So it's a robust thing. And of course, you will also, with the private guard number of an individual, you will be able to check his antecedent, just like Uber, review the person's profile. Maybe it's who you want or you don't want. Today, if you call a particular security company to give you a guard, they just give you a guard. The guard they give you, you just look at the person, okay, stay. Do you have, and you are paying. You should have the right to judge somebody by virtue of his character, by virtue of his background. So these are some of the things we're trying to do. So very soon, in the next 1 or 2 months, by the grace of God, we hope we'll be done with that, which will be a landmark one, and it will regulate that industry than the way it is. Then on Vincent from VON spoke about fathers headers clash. Well, we're doing a lot in that regard, but a lot of that is not what we can speak about. Of course, we are aware of the agro rangers and you are aware of some of the things we've done, but these are not some of the things we can speak because they are very serious security concerns. These are issues that has to do with right of way, and right of way, is a major security consideration in the present day Nigeria. So I'm not able to go too deep into that. Then there's a scarcity of 32 pages. That's not true. That's not true. I can say it emphatically. There is no, as a matter of fact, I can tell you, if any passport office tells you that the scarcity of passports booklet is a lie. As I speak to you, even now, they have more than 80,000 passports in the store as I still speak to you. This is as of yesterday. We make sure that once passport gets to 50,000, we replace with another 100,000. So it is not true. We have been able, God has helped us to solve that problem. The era when people wait for months, there is scarcity, and the scarcity brings corruption, that era is gone. So please, that information is obviously not true. And the company printing passport based in the UK, that is not true. Once again, the company that prints, that supplies, not prints, it's immigration that prints our passport. Immigration produces passport, but the booklet is supplied by a Nigerian company. It's a Nigerian company owned by Nigerians and doing business in Nigeria with head office in Abuja. So the issue of a passport office, our passport being printed in London, it's not in any way true. Then you ask for cost implication of the Fire Academy. Well, I will have to say this because I don't like jumping questions. But no, sincerely, I could have just skipped it. Of course, the freedom of information allows you to ask that sort of question. So if you need details, we'll furnish you with the details because it's broken down into various projects within the academy. So I cannot, on my head now, tell you exactly this amount. But if there is an FOA, we will. But what I think we need to concentrate on is the advantage that this will bring to us. And I want to tell you that the whole academy, I can't remember, but I know it's about how many buildings, how many solutions. I can't remember vividly because I'm more concerned about the policy trust. And that's my own concern. But if you need that, if you communicate with us, we'll let you know. There's nothing to hide in the Ministry of Interior. And of course, you spoke about institutional failure with regards to collection of data. I don't like to use the word institutional failure. We are evolving. We have to also understand that. And journalists, I want to thank you. In the Ministry of Interior, you've been very supportive of us. But I need to say this very clearly. We should, across board, we should magnify policy trust, we should magnify trust, the policy trust, rather than looking at the negatives. Yes, a journey of 1 year, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as I always tell people, is just a year old in office. This is a problem of over 60 years. I mean, he's not a magician. For me, I attended campaigns and I never heard him promise magic. He promised renewed hope, And so I would just want to plead with us that we should look at the positives within our system and build the trust of citizens. Then my pamphlet just reminded me that you said we are owing 11 billion naira. Have we paid? These are some of the. I don't see how this is too connected to this, but I can tell you that we have been able to clear our liability. We've been able to clear, NIS, they've been able to clear their liabilities. Of course, it's not easy. And because I tell people, because it's also an opportunity for me to address the passport fee, that because I know some of you will still ask why we increase the passport fee. But the old passport was set when dollar was at a particular price. And today, dollar is about 1,006. The booklets are imported. That is the truth. And Nigeria is not the only country. Don't let us see our country as failure. Nigeria has not failed, and Nigeria will never fail by the grace of God. So let us be optimists, not pessimists. Even the United Kingdom imports its booklet from, I think, Poland, if I'm not wrong. Even the American green card is imported from Malta, if I'm not wrong. And so many other places. So it's a matter of cost-benefit analysis. But Nigeria, we look at those faults too easily. The booklet is imported, which is dollar denominated. And at a time, and when you look at the dollar the conversion rate of the dollar, there is no way the old price wouldn't have led to subsidy. As a matter of fact, it was leading to subsidy, and we can't do that. That's why you realize that we didn't increase the price of the passport in diaspora, because the passport price in diaspora is dollar denominated. So regardless of exchange rate, it has no effect. We are not looking at making profit off Nigerians. No, we are looking at serving the people at the barest. But when you look at how much a passport is supplied for, beyond even the logistics, beyond even the immigration officers, beyond the whole issue, and you convert it to naira, you will realize that the price when dollar was 400 naira and when dollar is now 16 cannot be the same. So, and that's why we increased it from 35 to 50,000. And when you look at even the rate of increase in terms of the exchange rates, it's even, this one, the rate is lower. We increased about 45%, if I'm not, that's, is it 45%? Mm-hmm. Yes, that's about 45% increment. But meanwhile, the exchange rate has increased by 1. So we are being very sensitive. We are not looking at exploiting Nigerians. So I want to appeal to you. Please, you are the bridge between us and the people. It's important that we understand this and we'll be able to manage the situation. So all we try to do is just to be able to cover the cost of procuring passport. Because for me personally, I don't think government should subsidize passports. I personally, it's my own opinion, because passport is not a form of ID. Passport is a travel document. If somebody needs an ID, the national ID card is there. You can even get driver license. You can even get ECOWAS card that is even cheaper, and so many other. But and this passport we are talking about, this 45,000, this 50,000, is for 5 years. That is average of about 10,000 naira per year, and it's not even about that. It's about the cost. How much do we buy it for? How much do we spend on logistics? Then how much do we deliver it? If at all government needs to subsidize anything, I don't think it should be passport, with due respect. So I'm sorry, but you know me, I try to say it the way I say it. You know, I might be wrong, but I don't claim to have monopoly of knowledge, but that is the reason why we had that increment from 35 to 50, you know. And in diaspora, because diaspora is already dollar, so exchange rate had no effect on the dollar. That's why we kept the diaspora price the same. So on the issue of repayment of our debt, yes, we've paid a lot. I can tell you, yes, I know that there are still, but we have a payment plan that we've been doing, and what is important is that the booklets are available. We've been able to create a solution out of the scarcity. We've been able to create a solution to the scarcity of the booklet. Then ASO Radio spoke about stagnation of conversion in NIS from
62 immigration service, but it's not somebody reads your credit.
Okay. Yeah, the board secretary just told me now in the last promotion we did, 962 officers of the Nigerian Immigration Service were upgraded. In the last board meeting, the list is already out, it's been released. But the simple truth we have to know is that do not forget that every agency is based on quota. What do you call it? Vacancy. If you upgrade and there is no vacancy at that particular point in time, we will not sack people that are on that grade because of you. You have to wait till when there is vacancy. And now, in line with the vacancy that exists, 962 had been promoted to have been converted. So of course we take career progression, career development very seriously, but we must understand that we should not just listen to one side of the complaint. As journalists, we are trained to be fair-minded, to be able to balance stories. So it's based on vacancy that exists at a particular point in time. 1,000 people, 2,000 people can be eligible, and there are only 500 vacancies. Then the issue becomes, okay, exam, character, and different other things to be able to qualify them. So, but it is not that immediately you finish, oh, yeah, upgrade me. If there is no vacancy, you have to wait till when there is vacancy. So this is just about due process, and I think nobody here will advocate for abuse of due process. Then also, you spoke about the update on Maiduguri NCO as well. I think these are things we should also see. We should see the positives. We should not, as Nigerians, I will also plead with us that we should not be quick to celebrate failure and be reluctant to celebrate progress. The simple truth is, when you saw what happened in Suleja, how long it took us to be able to get some names out, and this one within 24 hours, we already had all the name, pictures, biometrics, and everything. You will see that there's a change in terms of response. And the reason is simple. After the Suleja happened, we just came in, taking stock and doing this, and immediately we said it's not possible. Today, our correctional information management system has the biometric of everybody. So immediately after the Suleja, it was a reality check. It was, when there is a problem, I come out to say there is a problem. If there is solution, we will tell you what we think. We are not here to deceive you. This government, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's government, this government of renewed hope, is not based on deception. It's based on saying things the way they are. Let's be open to the people. That's all we've done, from top to bottom, from the president downwards. That's what we've done. The simple truth is, what we inherited was that the database system was cheating. But today, everybody in our correctional centers, their pictures, their biometric, why they are there, how long do they have, all the information management is automated. And today, you saw it in Maiduguri. Immediately, everybody to the last, we supplied. And with what happened in Maiduguri, we must understand the difference between a compromise and a force majeure. What happened was force majeure. It can happen anywhere in the world. You saw a hurricane in Florida. Now, if there is a correctional service there, it will not say it is America. It will happen. I was in Maiduguri myself the second day. I couldn't enter the water. Nobody. I couldn't enter where the prison was, because everybody, the water was to this level. That was a day after. Talk less of that same day. So, how can I blame NCOS officials? And we didn't stop there. We set up a committee. Immediately they came.
They were able to evacuate even.
And immediately they came. We set up the committee. They investigated. They came up with a report. And what we can do is manhunt. And I can tell you that some of these people have been gotten. And we have communicated with all security agencies, and we are on the hunt of the others. And let me also tell you, that correctional center at the time of the flood had how many people?
786.
786 people. We had 786 inmates. And despite that flooding, the officers risked their lives, and they were able to evacuate 480 something. This was a flood that took lives. These officers were patriotic, diligent enough, risked their lives at the peak of the flood. They were able to take 480 something out of that place to this other to the maximum correctional center. They did their best. It's flawed. So I just want us to say this, that we should look at when our officers, our men in uniform, put in an act of bravery and patriotism. Let's encourage them by saying thank you. It's about putting their lives on the line. They lose sleep for us to sleep. They lose their comfort for us to be comfortable. And when they err, like the one that happened in Lagos, when they err, like the one that happened in Kuje, we hit them. But when they do well, we say thank you. Now, Suleiman, Democracy Radio, you spoke about the synergy between Federal Fire Service. Yes, there's something we call the National Council on Fire, That is on. And of course, the amendment of the law will really bring a lot of changes. So we're waiting for the law to be reenacted, not even amended, to be reenacted. Then aliens coming to Nigeria have spoken about the issue of the border control and creating an irregular command and control center and all the rest. So I think I've been able to address that. Then commodity smuggling, that is the power of customs. I'm not in charge of rice. So that is customs, and I think they are doing their best. I think so. I know so, not I think so. Then Henrietta from AIT gave you ask a question: who gave the directive on Bobrisky and what's happening to the person? That is the essence of the investigation. One thing you can be sure of, you can be sure about. Be sure of this, and I swear to God Almighty, we will not shield anybody, no matter who the person is. The reason why we took that decision yesterday, is that the in charge, who is a high senior officer, is a deputy controller. That is a senior officer. For error or whatever, he first of all takes why we investigate, so that there is no way anybody can tamper. And when you look at the team that we set up to investigate, you will see there is a mixture of civil society and public servants. The permanent secretary, one of the most experienced public servants we have today in Nigeria, she heads the committee. Then membership of the committee, 2 from the private sector, 2 from the civil society, and 2 from the public sector. Director legal, because there are legal implications, and of course, Director Joint Services, which is the department that oversees the agencies. And of course, we have Dr. Uju of Pro-Wike, which is one of the foremost CSOs and NGOs in terms of correctional service reforms in this country. And of course, Dr. Ike of Berekete family. So at least we have shown with the composition that we mean business. It's not just about public sector and saying it's our dog. No, it's about Nigeria. So be rest assured, please, let's be patient for investigations to be done, and be rest assured, nobody will be shielded and nobody will be protected. And also for you to know how determined we are. Of the 4 people we suspended yesterday, only 2 have to do with Bobrisky. The other 2, one is the in charge of Kuje, and the other one is a staff of Afipo in Neboy. It's not about Bobrisky. It's because now we have said 0 tolerance to indiscipline in all our services. The one in Kuje, we got a petition. I don't want to preempt. About collecting money into his account from an inmate. And immediately we say, go and sit down. He's the deputy controller. Yes. The one in Afipo took somebody out, an inmate. And we saw it on. So I said, you to go and sit down. So it's not just an isolated case of Bobrisky. This will continue because indiscipline must stop. So please, trust us. Believe in us. We are determined. The permanent secretary is not somebody that will compromise. At the level of the permanent secretary, she will not sacrifice 30-something years of hard work and sacrifice for what? So look at the integrity of the people that are involved. Let the integrity of the people that are involved give you confidence that the right thing will be